Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Jimmy. Pretty cold day out here today, but I feel pretty bundled up. Thank you for clicking on another video. Today I want to talk about the importance of feeling gratitude and what that can accomplish. And I'm just taking a stroll. I took a couple notes this morning in my journal that I'll share, so I'll probably be referencing that probably for the first time. And I've been working on posting more frequently. Just a quick update or refresher. This is your first time clicking on a video with me. Been in retail leadership for about 20 years with Apple, Cabela's, Toys R Us. Did quite a few jobs just leading teams and people, and hit the point in my life now where I want to help upcoming young leaders navigate an ever more increasingly complex environment. As we usher in a new generation into the workforce, and how do we bring them along the journey and incorporate their perspective and ideas, because every generation do have quite a bit of value to offer, or a lot of value to offer, while respecting some of the norms that have helped us get this far. And I find that to be a pretty fun dance that we get to partake on, and want to be able to have some perspective. But I woke up this morning feeling very grateful, and I think that's always important, to be able to wake up and appreciate life and understand that we have the power to change anything that we want about our life at any time. It's about changing the way we feel. So I'm a kid that come from, I'm not gonna say I'm a kid anymore, cut that out. But I grew up in, East Cleveland, and, we didn't have a lot of resources, but I love my mom to death. She just did the best she could always. And just seeing that effort, was just the same thing I saw to my grandparents. Understanding that they were, not formally educated either. I think my grandpa dropped out in the 6th grade. And I don't think my grandma got too much farther. They were able to figure out how to own a home in the 60s and the 70s, in the 50s, 60s, and the 70s. And my grandpa ended up owning several homes by the end of it. And I just thought that was really, really impressive for two people that didn't go to school, had kids really, really young. And, my grandpa had 15 kids. Grandma had 10. And, this blew me away. I think about the same thing with my mom, teenage parent. And there's 8 of us total. Morning. And this was always impressed that she figured out a way to keep food on the table, and a master budgeter, like so good at it, she could have been a forensic accountant. And just being able to manage her finances to make things go really far. And even today, on a fixed income, like she's practically got a perfect credit score using those same like discipline and principles. And again, she wasn't formally educated either. And it just goes to show you that I think when you have the right perspective on things, you can figure things out. And my mom always had this attitude that she was going to figure it out no matter what. She did. It's something that I've always been really grateful for. It actually made me appreciate, when I got to a place where, I can do certain luxuries, I really appreciated it. And it wasn't to flaunt, it was more just to say, hey, I think it was the being able to appreciate those things, because I remember not being able to do those things. And, a lot of that is because of the way my mother taught me how to think about finances and money. and understanding that, money's not everything. It allows you to do things, but it's not everything. But credit is more your reputation is. And I didn't really understand how she was positioned until I got a little older and I did a little bit more research. But I'm grateful as I go back and think about those things as an adult, how it shaped my financial perspective to today. But I remember as a kid, I was always grateful. I was grateful for, even the small presents. You didn't always get everything we were asked for. And that's not what those holidays was about. It was about being able to spend time with the family. But I know how hard my mom worked to make sure that we always had the latest game system. And I don't know this. I should probably ask her this one day. But I think that was an investment that she made because it was something as a big family we were all able to do. I remember us partaking playing Street Fighter for hours, just waiting our turn. And obviously, we still had those same rules where if you won, you kept the stick. So nobody really wanted to lose. And there's that little competitive spirit among siblings, kept us there. And so those family gifts meant a lot. And we always had the latest and greatest. And I like video games because it gave me a different way to think about the world. And growing up in the hood in Cleveland, they were a nice escape. But yeah, I think from there I appreciate it. Want to be grateful for the small things. And I'm really grateful. We work really hard to give our kids a different lifestyle, but they're extremely grateful for, for the small things as well. Like my oldest son, I think really can live anywhere. Like had a bed and he sleeps on the ground. And tell you he's always the most excited, no matter what the gift is. You can give him a pair of socks if you know that it's because I thought about it. Like you would think I gave him $1 million. And he just has this really high appreciation of life. And I see that same perspective in all my kids, which is something I appreciate. So gratitude is important, and it is based on perspective. I would always try to practice gratitude everywhere I go. Because I think if you're showing gratitude, you're going to stay in a high vibration. And if you're in a high vibration, you're going to attract high vibrating things, positive things, good things. And that's just continuously building momentum. I don't know if anybody's heard the phrase, comparison is the thief of all joy, but it's definitely something that can hit home and resonate. So don't measure your success based on other people's measuring sticks. You don't know what they sacrificed or gave up, how long they've been on that journey to acquire where they're at. But all you need to know is that if you just start thinking about that, the thing that you want, you can do anything you put your mind to. And people say that a lot, but I truly, truly believe that. And that's a physical thing that you can just consistently think about it long enough to where you're going to create that in your reality. You're going to bring that into your 3D space. You're going to have inspired action to just do. And it might not be perfect, but if you're doing it for you, your opinion is the one that matters the most. And my favorite place to get to a place of positivity when I think about positive affirmations and getting to a place of positivity to start your day and gratitude. It's cold, but look at the sun. It is beautiful out here. And just because the temperature is a little bit lower than I would like, the world is no less beautiful today. And I get to come out here and take a stroll, which is nice. I was listening to an Alan Watt video today. I'm going to reference my journal and make sure I get this correctly. But he talked about this concept that you don't go onward into eternity, because to go onward is going outward, and to go outward is like to chase time. Instead, you seek eternity by going in. And I thought about how deeply powerful that was going on the outside, have little control on what's happening inside unless we let it. And so how we respond to things is a big indicator. So I can complain today about it being cold, or I can appreciate the fact that the sun is out. And both those statements are true. But it's which one I choose to look at and which one I choose to let in. And it feels better to acknowledge that the sun is out. And I get to take this walk despite it being a little cold today. Good morning, man. How you doing? And so that's something that I think is worth considering. And like, how do you change the world? You start by changing yourself. The world is doing what the world does. And the world that you want is out there. You got to start changing that from within. And what do you choose to look at? What do you choose to see? What do you choose to feel? What do you choose to experience? And going within, there's infinite possibilities. You can explore all facets of yourself and your personality. And that is a really, really powerful thing to know that you can control all those things. By going within and focusing on yourself, there's endless possibilities on who you can become. There's endless possibilities on what you can accomplish. And there's endless possibilities on the world that you can create. But that change got to happen from within who you are. So, if you're not familiar with Alan Watts, he's definitely somebody worth doing a little bit of research on. I think just had a very incredible perspective of the world. Kind of balances some interesting perspectives growing up in America and, a strong Christian that went over and then start studying Eastern philosophies and religions. And I think it has created a very unique perspective in how he views the world, and one of my favorite philosophers. So I'll drop some links if I remember to some good videos that reference Alan Watts, particularly the one I watched that referenced this theory. And it was just one of those, videos put in some images. But when I heard that, I thought that was really profound and resonated with this feeling of gratitude that I had today. Last year, a little bit of a tougher year. Actually, this year was tough. And I just think about what it's preparing me for, because I always had this idea that if I made it to 2025 when I was a teenager, that was going to be the it year. I don't even know why, because I'm pretty sure I didn't think I hadn't calculated how old I was going to be. But that number feels magical. And after a tough 2 years, I think I built up even more resilience than I had. And it's really given me different perspective. It made me be more introspective probably for the first time in my life. And I don't feel like I have to make these drastic sweeping changes. But I think what I've confirmed and validated about myself, what I needed to validate about myself, happened over the course of these couple years. And it's probably given me the firmest foundation that I think I've ever had. And, I feel really, really good about where my family's at. And, what that allows me to do, with the next chapters in my life. And again, I've been really thankful about the last 2 years and what I've learned and the experiences that I've gained, the people that I met, which has just given me different perspective and has definitely had, a positive impact in my leadership, I think in the way I show up, in the way I feel about myself. And so that's a big journey for me. So it's coming from this place of immense gratitude. So I am thankful for it. Ooh, that car sounds cool. But no, I'm thankful for it. And yeah. So this holiday season, think about what you're thankful for. I talked a little bit about Jamie Foxx special in my last video. And I thought it was a stand-up comedy special, but it was definitely more of a celebration of life. And when I'm watching it, you should definitely check it out if you haven't. It is a great, great show. No, I'm not getting paid by Netflix to do that plug. I wish I was. But it was just amazing. And you just feel the gratitude and appreciation of life that Jamie had. And he got to do some things that he hadn't been able to do, like being able to perform a song with his daughter. And, he got to do that on stage, and he almost lost his life. And wasn't angry. He didn't come out bitter. He just came out just thanking people, thanking Atlanta, where his life was saved. And I just thought, again, it was a really, really great special. Jamie Foxx is a talented individual, extremely talented individual. And it was just cool as he kind of did a little bit of trip down memory lane on some of the things that he done that I had forgot about, because he's done everything. Some really iconic characters. Ray was one of our favorite movies when that came out. I'm going to have to go back and watch that, and how easily he can just break into those characters. His impersonations are fantastic. And Jamie Foxx in the Foxhole is one of my favorite stand-ups. Something I have forgot about. So this is a very talented individual. And I say all that to say, this is a guy that had everything. A guy that has everything. And just that appreciation for life. And, if you know Jamie's story, he didn't always have that. But I think the way he shows up today is probably how he always showed up to everything. He wasn't angry and then got to where he was and became happy. That's usually not how it works. You got to feel happy. You got to feel abundant first, because then that didn't open up those doors and open up those things that attract the positive in your life. So it's imperative. Gratitude is imperative. Feeling grateful to start feeling that momentum is imperative to being able to feel good. Because we are here to feel good. Life is a journey. One of my favorite leadership traits to recruit for when I'm building a team is curiosity. It's a hard thing to find. But if I could find what somebody curious in, I like to try to find people that are curious in multiple things, particularly curious in people. Because I find that if a leader is genuinely curious in people, they're going to really fight and advocate for their team. And if that happens, the team is going to take really, really good care of the employees or the customers, excuse me. And if that leader really doesn't do that, then, the employees kind of rebel a little bit, and they don't necessarily take the best care of the customer. It's a pretty simple concept to say, but a lot harder to manage. But I say all that to say, I think leaders that are naturally curious in people make people feel heard, make people feel valued, and make people feel interested in. And at the end of the day, that's what people want. They'll run a mile for you. They want to be seen. They want to know what they do matter. How they spend their time matter. People are looking for purpose. Nobody wants to spend their time wasting time. And so if they can make money and add purpose, that's what most people want. Nobody want to work extremely hard. And I've worked for people who definitely just want you to work hard for hard work's sake versus working to be effective. Finding those leaders that are curious, they're focus on finding the best and most effective, efficient way to do the task so we can do what we love to do, and that's connect with other humans and try to create the space to do that. Create the space to connect with the people in our community, in our stores. And so I try to find that as much as possible. It's really hard to teach that. It is teachable, right? I think you teach it through. Talk a little bit more about this in a later series. But how to teach curiosity is more through inspiration. But it is a very, very important leadership trait. But the reason why we landed on curiosity is I have this concept. And I get a lot of times people ask me, why am I so positive? I hear that a lot. And I appreciate that. I think it is a really big compliment. But somebody asked me, like, it's a really good question. Like, what was the thing I enjoyed about myself most as a kid? Or as I think back on my childhood self, what did I appreciate about him the most? And it was my curiosity. I was curious at everything. Like, I was the kid in my grandma's house, touching all the knickknacks, spinning them around, trying to figure out what they did. And, my grandma was the most wonderful soul on the planet. She indulged it and let me do it, which, was one of the few spaces I was able just to be myself in and just explore, which just unlocked my curiosity. And I would say that I'm still as naturally curious today. Like, I've explored a lot. If you know me, I have quite a few interests. I'm always doing something, trying something. So I'm very curious in how the world works. I'm very curious in just seeing what things happen. Like, I like, even in my leadership style, I get excited by new things. I'm like, oh, I haven't thought about doing it that way before. Well, let's see what'll happen. And obviously with the correct, right, you got to test to make sure there's no significant detriment to the organization or, to the main function. But I am really curious. And I think that natural curiosity, you get to unlock people's gifts. You get to unlock their intelligence. And, if you have a big team, your whole team benefit from that, which makes my job a lot easier because that one individual could impact 100 with a powerful story or a powerful example. And that's what I'm looking for. If we can do the work without thinking about it, without the filters, because it's just the right thing to do, because everybody believes in the mission, we're doing our jobs. And when you build a team that can run up a mountain that fast, you're in a great space. And you can do that anywhere. That's what I've learned in my last 20 years, where I've been able to branch out and make impact in other people's businesses that I'm not a subject matter expert in the thing, but when it comes to getting the best out of a room of people, I'm really good at it. And it's because, I want to get the best out of the individual. I want to create an environment where everybody can be themselves, because who they are is their best self. And if I can remove the filters and the facade that people think they got to put on to make me happy or make somebody happy, I think we usually get the best ideas that way, and we get what we pay for. When we hire somebody, we're hiring all their credentials and their backgrounds. But if I try to turn them into me, kind of defeats the point. And so I love curious leaders. I love it. I love curious people. They're usually fun. They think about what's possible. I find that curious people are usually optimistic. And even if they're pessimists in everywhere else in life, if you find a thing they're curious about, the thing that they dig in, that they love, they're probably very optimistic there. That's when they open up. I love finding that. When I hear somebody complaining about something or it's going on and on, I'm like, oh, let me find what you like. And then you get them talking about that, boom, instantaneously. That's how easy it can be to go from a negative place to a positive place, to feel gratitude. Just that easy. If it don't make you feel good, don't think about it. Think about something that do make you feel good. Because if you can't change it, thinking about it, it's not really going to do you much good. So just some food for thought on today's walk. Morning, how you doing? Good. If you got this far, thank you for clicking on another video on my nice little code stroll. It's been a great chat. If this message helps, please share it with somebody else. Let them watch it. And if you haven't done so already, and this is your second or third time back, go ahead and drop a comment. Tell me you're here and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. I will see you all soon.